one fact that I wasn't aware of until I found doing research for this was you're technically a Paul Heyman guy, at least in OVW.
Yeah.
That's and talking about getting opportunities. I feel like that was a huge opportunity for you. Was when Paul came into OVW. Can you talk about what that felt like, getting that faith put into you so early on?
Yeah. Paul Paul changed my life, really. I met Paul at a WWE tryout. I was in the ring working out, and I remember there was some meeting going on where all the all the workers that were that were employed with the company were not there. And there was like 6 or 8 of us working out in the ring and just kind of tagging in and tagging out. And I remember Paul came and sat ringside with Jim Ross, and he was just observing. And then after I think I got in here for a little bit, I tagged out, and he was like, he motioned for me to come over to him. And he said, "Who trained you?" And I was like, "Well, I got trained by a couple guys in Green Bay. And then Brad Rangens, I went to Brad's school for 3 months." And he was like, "Oh, I know Brad." Like obviously he knew Brad. And so that kind of opened the door for me there. And he was like, "I want you to come back and cut some promos." And he really amped me up. He was like, he wanted me to do a babyface promo and a heel promo. So I'm like kind of thinking about what I'm gonna say. And for some reason, nothing happened that particular um, everybody got busy. So he did give me his number, and he said, "Call me on Wednesday or whatever when I'm back in the office." So I proceeded to call Paul for like the next year and a half and not get through to him ever. 'Cause that's just the way it is in the wrestling business. It was nothing personal. And then when I fast forward, I'm in OVW, and Paul would come down every few months and do promo class. So he would have us cut a promo. It would be just us, Paul, and a camera in a room, cut the promo. He would critique it, and then you'd go home that night and kind of rework it, and then come back the next day and do it again. And on the second day, I cut my promo. I remember the first time I cut my promo on Funaki, and he was like, "Nothing against Funaki, but like, don't you want to wrestle The Undertaker? What about John Cena?" Like, so I came back and I changed it the next day. And I remember I cut that promo, and he was like, "Okay, thank you." And I was like, any feedback? "Nope, thank you, loved it." And I remember walking out there thinking like, this guy fucking hates me
Yeah.
because like he could give me something. And that kind of happened every time that he came down. And then when Jim Cornette he paintbrushed Santino Marella around in the back. Um, like 2 days later, Paul Heyman's there for TV, and I was there relatively early, like right around noon, and he said, "Come here for a second, I need to talk to you." And then he said, "I've been a fan of yours since we met." He remembered the day that we met, where him and Jim Ross were sitting ringside. He said, "I've been watching what you've been doing," and he goes, "I'm going to do so much stuff with you over the next couple months that they're going to have to notice you. You will be the next guy out of here." And I just remember thinking like, okay, I'm not going to get excited because, you know, I just that's one of the rules in the business. Don't get excited until it's actually occurring, and then it can still be taken away from you. Um, and to his word, like OVW TV was an hour show or 50, 51 or 52-minute show, I think, with commercials. And of that night, I had like 28 minutes or something like that on the TV show. And then every week, and then I started doing the announcing thing, announcing myself. And 5 weeks after we had that conversation, I was getting called up to SmackDown. Hey, they want to see you, and they want you to do your gimmick. And I was just supposed to be there to do like a dark match. It was just an observation. And right before my match was about to go live, Dave Lagana came up, and he said, "Hey, there's been a change." And I remember thinking like, "Oh, fuck, they canceled my match. They scrapped it. Okay, cool." And he said, "No, we have to come up with a finish for you because you're going over." This is going to be a televised match. It's going to be on Velocity, and welcome aboard. And that was my yeah. So yes, I am a Paul Heyman guy for sure.
Through and through after that. Yeah.
Rewind, recap, relive. Woo! That's what the world is watching.